Hey everybody! Thanks for tuning in to all things Division III soccer with SimpleCoach and Jackie. That there over there is Jackie, and I am SimpleCoach. Thanks for tuning in to this second episode of Simple Coach to Coach. This is part 2 of my interview with John Plaugic, the founder of Modern Goalkeeper Training Systems. It was a wide-ranging conversation that we had, and so much so that we're going to schedule another one for next week to continue on because it was really, really good. This one's a little different format, like I mentioned in part 1. Just because I had some audio issues. Hopefully it's not too bad, but I just wanted to get it out there because, like I said, it was a wide-ranging conversation. It was a lot of fun. Really did enjoy it. And actually, we were speaking possibly about doing maybe a monthly episode just to catch up, talk about different things that we're seeing. And this is a little bit broader than Division III soccer, but I tried to sort of narrow it back down to Division III, just because of obviously all things Division III soccer. But I thought the content is really, really good for young goalkeepers that are coming through the ranks that are looking to play in college and understand what that means and some of the things that they should prepare themselves for. And who better to discuss that than Coach John. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
I think as far as the goalkeepers playing in high school. So I think playing with the feet is huge. So whether it's receiving a back pass and then when you receive the ball, what to do when you get it. Is it a 0 to 20-yard pass? Is it like an inside the football that you're playing to a center back or an outside back? Is it a longer ball that you're going to hit with your laces that you're going to punch it to someone? Maybe it's 20 or 30-yard ball. Does your team play a style where you don't even play like that? Like you get the ball and they want you to just lump it up the field and hit it somewhere or just get it away from the goal? And can you do that? Like, are you capable of kicking the ball accurately and putting it and keeping it in play? And I think distribution and using your feet from the ages of 13 to 18 are really, really important. And here in the US, we're playing high school, you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's important that you use your feet. So that's a big one. I think the other one is dealing with crosses and high balls in the box. Especially in high school, there's balls that are always put in the mixer that it's not necessarily a corner kick. It could be a free kick that's anywhere within, I would say like 40 to 50 yards on your half towards your goal. A lot of those balls are just lumped into the back six or the penalty spot area or the penalty spot in an angle to the corner of the six or an angle to the corner of the six. And you kind of have to have a strategy of how you're going to defend that as a team, but also as a goalkeeper. Like, I know I'm going to get hit when I come out for the ball, so am I going to punch it or box it or keep the ball going where it's going to keep it safe? How do I set up my team and hold our line, our defensive line, so I have room for me to move and play, but also my defenders and my team can defend the situation. So those are things that I find to be really important in the high school game, is dealing with the ball, threats, the ball coming into the box and aerial threats and things like that, and then using your feet. Those are the biggest things that. Me personally, I think there's
Don't get in trouble now. Don't get in trouble.
No. I'm usually, I have my own opinion on it, and other people think what they think, because I've coached college, I've coached high school, and I've coached the MLS and the DA and all of that league. So the different things people talk about, right? So for me, for some players, it's really great to play high school, right? I think it's really great to play high school because you're in games that count. You're in games with pressure. You're playing in games that have fans. You're playing in all different parts of the state, right? You could be playing on grass. You could be playing on turf. You could be playing in different styles, right? So different towns, different cities, culturally and all, it's different. It's a different style, right? There's different style of soccer you see, and then it goes down to playing adult or senior level games at the highest level possible. So, like, if you're a really good goalkeeper, but you can't become a starter or play regular games in the MLS next league at U15, U17, U19 because you're just below maybe those guys ahead of you, then playing high school and being the starter and playing in those games regularly is more beneficial to you, because you're playing senior level games, and that's your avenue to develop and get better. Because everyone's projection to develop and become a better goalkeeper is different. You have guys that are really good at 14, and then at 18, they're U14 national team goalkeeper, and then at 18, all the other kids that were nowhere close to them are all better because their pyramid of developing is different. Everyone takes a different path. So I don't think it's negative. I don't think high school soccer is negative. It depends on each person's situation. But if you're a really good freshman goalkeeper, let's say you're 14 and you're a freshman, and you're able to play varsity at your hometown school, or let's say you go to private school and they don't have a starting varsity goalkeeper, and you're 14 years old and you're able to play varsity soccer and play 20 varsity games as a 14 or 15-year-old, a freshman or a sophomore, I can't see how that
is bad.
That seems to me better than playing in the MLS league at U14 or U15 or the DA, whatever you want to call it now, over playing in that league, because you're playing against 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. And you're playing a different style, might be a different style and might not be as pretty, but you're playing against senior players. You're learning different skills, dealing with players older than you, playing players older, how to lead in when you're younger. Not everyone is the same as you're playing against. The style of soccer may not be as tactically and technically pleasing on the eye. It doesn't matter. That's why the FA Cup is so awesome. The FA Cup's awesome because you could be playing in the third and you get signed you're signed by a champion club or a Premier League club, and your life changes. And that's the way your progression as an athlete happens. So for me, high school soccer is a good thing, and for players and goalkeepers, every situation is different. And for some of them, taking the path of playing high school, whether it's all 4 years or a couple of your years, make a lot of sense. And other players, maybe they're MLS Next kids or highest level club kids, and they're starting and playing every game for that at that level, which we consider to be the highest in youth soccer in the United States, which is good. But I can't remember watching one of those games where there was 4,000 fans at a game.
Yeah,
I can't remember. No. I can't remember seeing one. So if you went to watch this year, we had my hometown school. So Kearney High School played Elizabeth in the state
Semifinals.
semifinals,
Yeah.
and the winner would then go to the overall state final. The game was at Kearney High School. Luckily, they had home field advantage, and there was a couple thousand people there. You're not getting that in
No.
the MLS. Even in the playoffs,
Yeah.
the MLS Next, you're going to get maybe a couple hundred people there. You're not getting that you're walking into someone's home, that home crowd, that dealing with adversity, that people are cursing at you from behind the goal, and the fans are talking nonsense. And that's a different way of managing a team and managing being on the field under pressure, which a goalkeeper needs to know how to do. It's for all the college soccer heads, it's like when you watch games that were at UConn, at the old stadium, or you watch University of Maryland.
Yep.
Their fans, their hands go into the goal.
Yeah.
They go into the net.
Yeah.
So if you can't, if it doesn't matter how good you are, you could be really good. When that game starts and you have all those fans and everyone in your face, you could be the best technical, the best FIFA-rated goalkeeper in your age. And then you're thrown into the fire and you're complete garbage because you can't handle the psychological aspect. That's a really important thing that we overlook. So to tie it all in, high school soccer, it's a good thing. For certain people, it's a great thing. And there's positives and negatives to playing in that arena, just as there is with playing in the MLS Next. That's why you look at, so a lot of our players, a lot of our American players, right? They play in the DA, or I keep saying DA. They play in MLS Next. They play in MLS Next, and then they go D1 or top level D3. And some of them get to that level, and when then you go play in college, there's fans at every game. Maybe you're only playing night games.
Yep.
Okay. You're only playing night games at 7 o'clock at night, and it's cold, and it's windy, and it's maybe you're not used to playing games under lights.
Yeah.
Because you've played your whole career playing 3 o'clock games for the great soccer club that in your area, which is fine, but it's all things that you need to learn how to deal with and learn how to play. And then you're going to away games where there's fans and the weather's different. Based on your conference, maybe you're playing games in Massachusetts or Connecticut, and then you're also playing games in Delaware. Like in the fall, the weather is different in all of those places.
Yeah.
Right? It's 19 degrees in New Jersey today. It's nuts. But you're playing in those situations where potentially in your club environment, you didn't have as many of those experiences. So when you do have those experiences, you're not ready. You're not completely ready, and it hasn't been learned yet. So it's different styles for sure, but you need to have one of the main things we list on the attributes we want our goalkeepers to have is grit, right? And if you look at a lot of the pro goalkeepers, they all have grit. When things are going bad, right? When they all have grit. So when things are going bad, they know how to deal with the adversity. And when it's raining cats and dogs, they know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And some of those things you only learn when you're being put in the thick of it.
Yeah.
In regards to going in and playing D3 soccer, a lot of players they don't know how high the level is. They don't know how high the level is in D1, D2, or D3 coming out of their enclave or wherever they're from. Like if they grew up playing club soccer for a regional power club team, and they've been fortunate enough to be there for the last couple years, they don't really know how good other people or other players are. So and that's why sometimes you have guys that they might not have had this illustrious youth career, or club career, but then they get to college and they do really well because they can handle the thing the other guys can't. So the assumption of a lot of players is they don't realize how good the level is within the D3, D2, D1 level. They just don't get it because they did they haven't been hit with how competitive it is. Now all of these youth players are trying to play on 400 collegiate teams, but there's 1,600 graduating seniors, and you're only getting recruited to 400 spots. Like every one of you is a starting varsity goalkeeper or a starting goalkeeper for your club team. Where are you going to go and compete and be the guy or the girl, the leader? Excuse me. Everyone undervalues it, so they think they're a D1 caliber person because they're on one of the MLS Next teams, and they just don't know what they're walking into and how high the level is playing collegiately. Unfortunately, it's a huge wake-up call.
Yeah.
They don't understand, and they, especially during when it's recruitment time, why haven't I gotten my offer? I want to go to this school, but I haven't gotten an offer or scholarship to go play at this level. Or I want to go play there, which I think I'm a walk-in starter. But everyone else, the coaches and the staff, don't think I'm a walk-in starter. And you just don't know the level.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know how high the level is at some of those, at some of the schools. You know, the funny thing is, you know, when I was growing up, there was two places to go to train as a goalkeeper. There was Paul Plaugic Goalkeeper Training School, which was like in Flemington. And then there was Extreme Keepers with Mike Romeo and Jim Casey that was in like the New Brunswick area. Edison, they hosted it at Wardlaw, Hartridge. And there may have been like one other person, but you you didn't really. Those were the two you would either go to. And Plaugic was the guy, right? He was the coach in the state everyone wanted to train with. So I started getting goalkeeper training when I was like 15 or 16, and I started at Extreme Keepers, and then I met Plaugic, and then I started training there, and Plaugic is a great coach, a great friend, a great mentor, and Plaugic is on our staff at Modern Goalkeeper now. We work together, so it's awesome, and you see how everything has evolved. And now you look at, is there people doing similar stuff to what we do, or is there more goalkeeper coaches in New Jersey now? Yeah, there's a lot more. Which is good for all the kids. So now you have probably, there's got to be at least 10 different groups doing goalkeeper training. And then within those 10 groups, there's probably a cluster that I think do a really, really good job and offer something that's great for the kids. So that's improved drastically, where there's kids in different parts of the state that have opportunities to train with different coaches that are going to be beneficial to them. And then there are some people out there that they do this, it's part of how they make a living, and I'm sure they're doing the best they can, and they can only offer what the best of what they can offer, which is totally fine. But there's more opportunity for players to find training these days than there was 10, 15 years ago, 5 years ago even.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with if they change any rules. I really hope they don't. I really hope that they don't change any rules, but you never know. Like now they're allowing the defenders to come inside the penalty area, and you could play like a 5-yard pass to your center back and then start the breakout. Which for me, it's like, yeah, okay, I like it and I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's parts I like and there's parts I don't like. So now, like, if you're a goalkeeper that's not great with your feet, it's easier for you. You just give it pass the responsibility to someone else and they start the
Yeah.
play. Whereas, if you're taking goal kicks all the time and you're launching it up, then people are heading the ball more and the ball potentially is going out of bounds and losses of possession. So I get both sides of it. But if they start changing the rules, then maybe we'll see different attributes. But how teams are playing now with breaking out of the back and using the goalkeeper as the point man, like if you watch Man City and you watch Ederson, he's the point man the majority of the game, right? So he's getting the ball and he's starting the attack and he's pretty aggressive how he plays. It's a lot of people think very risky, but the guy's good. So him and Neuer and if you look at a guy like Jan Sommer, their feet are very, very good and they play differently than a lot of other goalkeepers or the what they call the line goalkeepers. And your team has different flexibility that way. But I think the game's going to keep evolving where using the feet is going to be more important. I think you're going to have teams play riskier where they're really going to have 11 players attacking. I really think that's going to happen. Like, don't get me wrong. If I wouldn't be surprised, if you have Man City playing a game when they already won the league, and they try to play where the goalkeeper is so high, they almost dare the opposition to shoot from 70 yards away because the goal's open. I could see that happening. Where they're playing a different style, where the goalkeeper's playing up at the 35 the whole time, and they're almost daring you to try to get that $1 million goal.
That's interesting, actually.
I really think it's going to happen.
That's legit. If you got the confidence in the goalkeeper to receive a ball and to do something with it, there's no reason why not to. Especially if you're good in possession, right? And
yeah, if you're and then if you give the ball away, let's say at the 65, right?
Yeah.
So the field's 120 yards, right? So if you give the ball, let's say at the 65 or the 70, on the other side of your defensive half, name a midfielder that will get the ball in one touch or two touch and then score in an open goal.
From 70.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
And there's guys I can name that they could do it, but could they do it regularly under pressure?
Yeah.
No. So maybe you give up one goal like that in 90 minutes, but you end up scoring 6 because you're attacking with 11.
Yeah.
And you're attacking with 11 in such a fashion where you don't even need a 3-back system. You can have a 2-back system.
Yeah.
Because you have a point man, the goalkeeper, and then you have
2 wide
wing backs.
Yeah.
And now you have a 2. What do you want to play? A 2-5, a 2-5, a 2-4-4. So you're opening pockets in the field where the defensive team is like, what do I do? Like,
where do I go? Yeah. Like, do I step here? Do I step there? Like, how do we defend it? Yeah.
Now to really go sci-fi on you now, right? Now imagine you're playing a team that has a goalkeeper that's a line goalkeeper and does not play high and play with their feet. So now you're playing 11 on 10.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not even counting the players that get cut out through the lines you break when you're attacking. And you know that goalkeeper's not going to play high because they don't want to or don't play that way. And now you're really just attacking the whole time. It would be risky, but funny. So the future of the game has some. There's going to be some cool shit that starts to happen, and I think we're going to see something sooner rather than later. And if I'm a betting man, it's it's probably going to be Man City, and Ederson's going to be in goal. That's going to be one of the first games you see it, where they
he's
go,
got the skill,
dude,
right? Like that's I can totally see that. He's got the skill.
he can mash the ball all over the
Yeah.
place, and he can cut it through
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Neuer's another one. He plays different than
Yeah.
Ederson, but he's very active with his feet,
Yeah.
very good with his feet. They wanted to play him in midfield at one point,
Yep.
which I'm sure he's capable of doing. So we're going to see some changes, and it'll start with maybe rule changes, and then it'll start with the bravado of the coach and the system of how can we let's try this out, and it may work.
Yeah. All right. Tell me that wasn't a fantastic interview with Coach Plaugic. His last comments about where he sees the position evolving to really got me thinking, and so hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm meeting with him again, talking to him next week, and so we'll have another installment. Hopefully the audio issues will be sorted out. Also have the interview with the 2021 Women's National Champions, Christopher Newport University head coach Jamie Gunderson, who really graciously, again, crazily has accepted the to meet with me and talk with me about his season, recruiting, all those types of things that interest me. And then, and if you haven't seen it, my first interview was with the 2021 Men's National Champions Connecticut College head coach Ruben Burke, which again, another fantastic discussion. Really enjoying these. I hope you are too. My chief marketing officer would be upset if I didn't remind you of the subscribe, like, bell thing that you have to do on this. By all means, spread the word. Also taking suggestions as to who I should speak with. So I do have a number of coaches that have agreed to do some interviews. So I have a list. Hopefully over the next few months, I'll be able to do those and share them with you. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks again for tuning in. Really do appreciate the support, and we shall see each other on the flip side. Look for the next video. Thanks.